Who said the Pac-12 didn't love football? Who said the Pac-12 and the West Coast college football fans did not love the sport that the rest of us love? I looked in the live chat 15 or 20 minutes before we started the show here at 9 o'clock Eastern time. I looked in the live chat because I was building graphics. You see the lovely graphic at the bottom of the screen right now. That is the first of many. So I was building the graphics, and so I can see the live chat at that point, and I counted nothing but Pac-12 fans. The Pac-12 is here and ready, right here at the Voice of College Football. We acknowledge the Pac-12. We're here for the Pac-12, and we deliver for the Pac-12, and the Pac-12 supports the Voice of College Football. So, yes, we often diss the Pac-12. It's easy to do, but I'm going to give the thumbs up and the salute to the Pac-12 tonight. Welcome into the Voice of College Football, everyone. We are the Voice of College Football, all of us together, the Voice of College Football. But tonight, you know what? We're not talking about college football. So if you've got your comments to make about college football and you guys strike up conversations about college football in the live chat, go right ahead. I wish you wouldn't, because we're here to talk about the channel. But if that's what you're going to do, that's fine. That's what the live chat is there for. Typically, of course, college football conversation. And that's why we are here. College football all the time. I got to think that we are here as dedicated to college football as anybody on the planet. I don't know who is more dedicated to college football than myself and all of you that support us here at the Voice of College Football. 34,000 subscribers right here on the main channel. I thank each and every one of you for your support and for at one point in your life deciding, hey, I'm going to subscribe. So thank you for that. For any of you that take in the content on a regular basis and you're not subscribed, I would just simply ask that you would subscribe. If you like the conversation, the discussion, the debate, everything that we provide, the analysis, you would subscribe. All right. So we are here to talk about what we're doing right now at the Voice of College Football, what the vision is, what we want to get accomplished. And of course, I want to hear from all of you. I want your feedback. We are, and yes, I often speak about myself and the channel, we, in those terms, we, it's kind of like the British Empire, we endeavor to be what you want us to be. If I delivered the content that I wanted, it would look pretty similar to what we do anyway, but it would be a little bit different. I want to deliver what all of you are looking for. The success of a YouTube channel is to deliver the content. First of all, quality content. Content is king. First point, content is king. So we want to deliver the best content possible. We want to deliver. My aim is to deliver the best college football content anywhere. And I can make all sorts of excuses, and I apologize for the times that I have, maybe out of frustration, made excuses as to why we don't deliver the best college football content all the time. So that is no excuse. We deliver regardless of whether we've got one person here or 50 people here on staff. The aim is to deliver the best discussion, best debate, best analysis of college football. And we want to have a good time doing it. So if we can throw all of that together, we want to tell the truth. We want to get to the facts. We want to put those facts and those stats and those numbers into context. We want to have a fair and open and logical and reasonable discussion about college football and all the topics that that involves, whether that's past national championships or a college football playoff system or the BCS system, or whether that involves conference championship games or restructuring of conferences, NIL, transfer portal, all the various aspects and components of college football, both past and present. We want to present it in the best possible way with analytics, with numbers, with metrics, with facts. And then you got to take all that. That's not enough. I could really, believe me, the nerd in me, the geek in me, and that's a lot of me, could churn out videos every day that do nothing but list things out. I love lists. I love lists. Uncle Rico knows I love lists. I love lists and I love rankings. Okay, I could do that all day. I could count up all the wins against ranked opponents for every team in the Big Ten over the last 10 years and send out a video. Psh, there it is. Well, what does that mean? That's the next step. That's the important step. That's the step that separates others from what we do here and what we attempt and accomplish doing. And that's take all the facts and the stats and the metrics and all of that and determine what it means. What does it mean? Give it context. Now that's the next step. That is a step above. That's a cut above to provide the context, to explain it. Oh, well, this was the final score of that game, but do you realize that A, B, and C happened and X, Y, and Z happened? And that may shine a different light on that particular season or that particular team or player. So we deliver the information, the facts, the truth. We want to get to the truth. We want to do it in the most possible neutral way imaginable. Neutral and unbiased. Yes, neutral and unbiased. That's my aim. That's my goal. That's my mission. I'm an Ohio State fan. Yes, I am. And believe it or not, a little tiny part of me, little bit, a lot more than it would have been 10 years ago or 20 years ago, because I would have said, I want Ohio State to win every game. Of course I do, and I still do. But a little part of me wishes Ohio State was Rutgers. For the sake of this channel, wishes Ohio State was Kansas. Wishes Ohio State was even Colorado, UCLA. Didn't really matter in terms of national power. Because what happens, what do we talk about most of the time? We talk about the best and the greatest and the number one and the playoff. And Ohio State's in the middle of that conversation all the time. So they're always going to be compared as being the best or being just below the best and being in that discussion. So that puts me in a certain position where I need to do my very best, and I, believe it or not, every day do my best to cut it straight. To cut it straight. And I'm going to have to start making a list or gathering up all those times that I put Ohio State in its place, and in which those times in which I believe I put Ohio State at a lower ranking, or I take the other side of the argument, as I have many times, and put that collection together, because I don't know if a lot of people realize how many times I take the other side. And I don't do that just to be a contrarian. I do that when I believe that's the truth. I'm just delivering the truth. So you'll find people on YouTube, I believe, that want to please everybody. So they're not going to be offensive. They're just going to please everyone. I've been accused of that a couple times. A few people, just because I was nice, or just because I didn't argue, or just because of whatever their angle on whatever they watched, they thought I was not trying to offend because I was trying to please everyone. Well, you guys that watch me on a regular basis understand me much better than that. I am also not on the other end of the spectrum. I am not saying things just to piss people off, get people riled up, cause a lot of controversy and a lot of drama, and get a lot of clickbait and bring people in to watch the show. I'm not doing either. I'm not trying to please people. I'm not trying to piss people off. Sometimes I say and take a perspective on a topic, and it's very mainstream. It's very general. It's pretty much what you would expect. It's nothing new, not revolutionary. And everybody would walk away and say, that's pretty vanilla. But if that's what I believe the truth to be, I'm going to deliver it that way. Other times, I might get criticized, as I have, for being, oh, well, Mark's just taking that side to be devil's advocate, to stir something up, to be a contrarian. Nope, not doing that either. Just trying to get to the truth. So we started this channel Can anyone guess when we started this channel? Because none of you were around. I know that none of you were around because nobody was around. Nobody was watching. I was trying to encourage somebody the other day, this was a few weeks ago, concerning their YouTube channel because they were frustrated, discouraged by their lack of growth. I've got to post these numbers sometimes because even when I went back and looked at them myself, I was like, how did I not give up? How did I not give up? This is where it pays not to be that bright, to be not that intelligent. I sometimes think I keep going because I'm really not that bright. I'm not really a smart guy. I was not smart enough to think, you know what, this is not working. Stop. Do something else. Be a day trader. Starting in about 2008 when the stock market went, boy, I was all in on, I'd love to be a day trader. Really got into that. Really got into that. So the first, oh my goodness, 4 or 5 years of our channel, it didn't do much of anything. I was talking to the Wholesome One. That's who it was, I believe, and a few other people about channel growth recently. And I'll have to dig up those numbers. They're very easy to add up on YouTube. YouTube gives you every possible piece of information that you could ever want. But the growth of this channel, considering that my first video posted, go look it up, especially if it's monetized. Look it up because you'll add a few cents to the coffers, was in January 2010. That was a long time ago. When you say 2010, it doesn't seem like a long time ago, but it's 2022. That was 12 years ago. That was forever ago. In 2010, January of 2010, I shot my first video. I'm not going to go into the story concerning why I started a YouTube channel. I've told that story before. We'll get into that some other time. I can tell that story when the next person asks. But wouldn't be too surprising that my first video on this channel in January of 2010 was the day after the New Year's bowl games, and I was putting the bowl results into context. And that's what we started doing. All right. Many of you know my story, at least partially, that I was an on-air first news anchor, news reporter, then sportscaster for 10 years. Had a couple different stops in Ohio and Mississippi. Had a whole lot of fun. Enjoyed that. A lot of great memories of that. Anyway, we want to get to the channel, so I'm going to be brief in this part of it. I may be sitting here 6 hours from now explaining stuff, but so whoever wants to hang on. We're going to talk about the channel. And then I was at ESPN for 19 years. The only reason I mentioned that as a management person in production operations for 19 years is that there was a messy situation with ESPN in which they lied to me and some other things. So we'll not go into that. So it was a messy situation with ESPN. And it was a great company to me in many ways. So I'm not all down on ESPN and Disney. They were really good to me for the most part for a long, long time. So anyway, there was a decision that had to be made. I made the decision to bet on me, to bet on you, to bet on our ability to create best discussion, debate, and analysis of college football every day. So that's what we did. Leave the mothership, leave the security. Let's do it our way. I was watching Paul Finebaum today, and a caller called in to say, Paul, why don't you have on this guest, this guest, this guest, this guest? And of course, Paul Finebaum can have on any guest he wants. He could go out and contact anyone, and they would go on his show. I don't have that luxury yet. We're getting there. But there were certain guests that ESPN would not allow Paul Finebaum. And so he was in a difficult position. I thought he explained it very well. He's an employee. So he gets to run his show with a lot of latitude in most respects. But when it comes to certain things, he's got the man He's got the suits above telling him what to do and what he can't do. And that's not a knock on Disney and ESPN. That's in every company. You're going to have that. So one of the reasons I'm sitting here doing this and talking to all of you is that I can pretty much do what I want. We can pretty much do what we want. Sure, there are guidelines and conditions that have to be met on this platform of YouTube. Yes, of course. But in the realm of college football, it's my content. I can do whatever I want. Love it. That's what I'm here to do. But I want to serve you. I want to serve the college football fan first and foremost. So I've got to slap myself in the face every so often because, man, I would produce videos on the Maryland linebacking core if people were going to watch it. You know what? Nobody watches that. I think that's interesting to bring on the Maryland beat writer and talk about the linebacking core. I love that kind of stuff, but there's not enough of you, more than like 13 people that care about that in terms of you. So I got to figure out, what do you want? Content is king. So number one, you got to deliver really good content, and then people need to be able to find it. So understand that on YouTube's a bit of a mystery at times. So if I would produce bad content, but I knew all the gimmicks on YouTube and could get viewers in, well, that would only last for so long. Some people would watch and then they would leave and say, this guy sucks, bye. So you got to produce really good content, and then you got to figure out the YouTube mystery, the algorithms that nobody can figure out. Nobody knows how YouTube really works. The people that say they know how YouTube works, or if they're truly honest, they say, well, here are some tips and tricks, because they have figured some things out. You can figure out some trends and figure out what works, but it constantly changes. And there's not a book that you can say YouTube likes A, B, C, D, E, F, and to what degrees. We know that they like the like button. We know that they like certain things based on just trial and error and proving a trend. So a lot of people have figured that out to a certain extent, and I do my best to try to follow some of those guidelines. But there are a lot of things, for as long as I've been doing this, I don't know. I don't know when I should post videos. I typically post my videos at like 5 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, because I figure, well, people are going to work. People are going to work. They're getting up and going to work. And yes, I know not at necessarily 5 a.m., but it's going to be there for the drive to work, the ride on the bus, the train, the subway to work. So let's get it out there, drive time, first thing in the morning. So I release videos at 5 a.m. across the board. Well, somebody told me the other day, that's not necessarily smart. It's not a good time to release videos on YouTube. I don't know. I know not to release too many videos at one time. So we'll get to my first point in regards to the main channel. So if you're an Oklahoma football fan, and let's say you see one of my videos for the first time and I'm talking about Oklahoma, you like the video, you follow it to the main channel, you subscribe. This guy had on Parker Thune from 247 Sports. It was really good. He's going to talk Oklahoma football. Bam, I subscribed. Then you see the next videos on Michigan State, then Minnesota, then Alabama, then Georgia. Okay, I'm out. Where's this? What's he doing? I don't want to see this other garbage. I just want to see Oklahoma. Okay. For that reason and many others that I won't go into, I'm going to clean the clutter off this channel. So again, back to the separation between what I want to do and what's best for the channel and best for all of you and what you want to see. A couple weeks ago, I delivered a Maryland schedule preview. I would love to do and have every off season for a long, long time done a schedule preview for all the teams. I love doing stuff like that. I could do schedule previews and projections and quarterback rankings and offensive line rank. I could do that stuff all the time, every day. So I put out what I was going to believe to be my first of all the schedule previews across college football. And I just picked Maryland out of a hat. Bam. Threw Maryland out there. Nobody watched it. So understand that kills the channel. That severely hurts the channel. So it's not just me wasting my time because 150 people watched the video and it made 8 cents and it took me 2 hours to make 8 cents, which makes absolutely no sense, of course. Well, it made 8 cents, but it makes no sense. So you don't do that. But no, that's not the issue. That is the issue because I can't work for 4 cents an hour. The issue is that YouTube sees that video. This channel's got 34,000 subs. Video was watched by 150 people, and YouTube, like, lowers the boom on me, smashes me down, says, this guy sucks. Nobody's watching his videos. And so we had a run in the last couple of weeks of a ton of videos that had like 500 views, 800 views. And YouTube's just going to kill me. It's just going to suppress the content. It's not going to circulate the content, put the content out there for people to watch. You could be subscribed to this channel. So understand that being subscribed to a channel is just kind of a honor system. It is just a pledge to say, I'm interested in this, I'm going to subscribe. And to get to the 1,000 subscriber mark is important, as I've mentioned a number of times. But if you're going to be subscribed to a channel and not watch the videos on that channel, you're actually hurting the channel. And YouTube's not going to send you videos from that channel anyway. YouTube monitors your viewing habits and sends you videos, not necessarily from channels you're subscribed to. It sends you videos that are like the videos you've watched in the past. That's the way YouTube works. So let me mention this concerning the team channels. We've got 25 team channels. And those team channels, we would love to get all of them to 1,000. I believe we've got 15 of the 25 to 1,000, and we really need to concentrate on those. So, for example, Wisconsin fans, sorry, our Wisconsin channel sucks. No reason to go over there. Just leave it alone. We may get to it at some point. I don't have time for it. So we're going to focus on the channels that are doing pretty well or that are close enough and have shown enough life for us to build and lift up. So I want to thank everybody out there. I want to thank everybody out there that has subscribed to a team channel that they don't like. So I got Miami fans subscribing to the Notre Dame channel, and I know your blood curdles when you do that, but you did it for me. So thank you so much for doing that. All right. The next thing I'm going to ask you to do is if you subscribe to a channel to get us to 1,000, again, thank you so much for doing that. Some of you are subscribed to like 15 channels. Thank you so much for doing that. Okay. If you are subscribed to a channel that has gotten over 1,000 subs, okay, and you're not watching any content on that channel, that is now hurting us. So unsubscribe. Unsubscribe to any channel that's over 1,000 subs. If it's less than 1,000, even if you don't watch, stay subscribed, please, because we need to get to 1,000. So if you follow that, again, if we are over 1,000 subs on a channel that you do not watch the videos on, please unsubscribe. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for subscribing to channels you don't care about, just to help myself, to help me and everything that we do here. I appreciate it so much. So the YouTube algorithm thing is a complete mystery. I belong to a group called Think Media, Video Ranking Academy, VRA, and they have so much content in terms of trying to build a YouTube business, how best to do it. And I joined this group about 1.5 years ago, and I really need to take the time to consume the content to the point where I can really build this channel the way it should be built. Okay. So going forward, I really need to make sure that all of you are understanding that we've got team channels, because it amazes me every so often people will mention, and there are people that I recognize their handles and I know that they've been watching for a while and they interact and they enjoy what we do. And they had no idea that we had team channels. And this is going to be even more important going forward, because this main channel is going to be a national channel. We are going to do call-in shows on here. That is going to be the staple of what we do here at the Voice of College Football on the main channel, call-in shows. All right, what we're also going to do is content similar to what I released yesterday, where we went through the NFL draft and how it was tied to the results on the field at the recruiting rankings originally for those teams and how it all worked together. We're going to take on national topics, playoff system, coaches rankings, program rankings, national narratives. So I've been trying to do that for a few months now, but because we're not bringing in enough revenue, what I keep doing is I'll cut an Ohio State segment and I think, man, my channel could use a shot in the arm. Let's put this Ohio State video on the main channel. And I keep telling myself, I want to make this just a national channel. And then I go talk to somebody about Michigan, talk to Steve Days, or I talk to Justin Rowe about Michigan. And I think, I want to make this just a national channel. That's what it's going to be best in the long run. But you know what, this Michigan video is going to do really well. So let's put it on the channel. I got to stop doing that. Going to stop doing that. So if you root for and watch Ohio State, Michigan, Nebraska, Iowa, Penn State, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Texas A&M, LSU, Clemson, Miami, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Texas, Oregon, USC, Notre Dame, in particular, those schools in particular, please subscribe to the team channels. That's where all that team-specific content is going to be. This is going to be a national college football channel. And we want to feature call-in shows first and foremost. And what's mentioned to me the other day, Mark, you would do a little bit better if we knew when you were going live. I know. So first understand that I do go live 9 times a week that's already scheduled. So I already have 9 shows: Miami, West Virginia, Florida State, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, and somebody else I forgot. We do those live streams every week, 9 of them. So I'm obligated to those 9. So it is difficult past that to figure out a call-in show schedule. But that's what I want to deliver for all of you, because I appreciate and I want to thank everybody out there for all these many times that you show up at the drop of a hat because I decided, you know what? Let's go live tonight. Boom. I want to go live in 15 minutes. And you guys are here. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. This is I'm not going to promise this. It says in the good book not to make promises to people, just state it. So that's what I'm going to do. This is not a promise. This is what I intend to do. I intend to set a summer live call-in show schedule. And then we'll reassess before the season. And then looking at the college football season and what the schedule looks like for college football, set a new schedule. But for the summer, let's say on Labor Day weekend, I hope to unleash a call-in show schedule for the rest of the summer. And then maybe we'll throw in some bonus shows as well. When there's breaking news, you guys have noticed that I jump on here on a fairly regular basis when Lincoln Riley runs from Oklahoma to USC, or Brian Kelly from Notre Dame to LSU, or Mark D'Antonio steps down, or Mark Richt steps down. Big news like that, I jump on live as many times as I possibly can. So I will do my best to commit myself, but understand that I've already got 9 commitments per week with the team channels and those live streams, which brings me to more live streams. People suggest all the time, Mark, do a Clemson show every week. Mark, do an LSU show every week. I would love to do as many live streams as we possibly can, but I'm starting to run out of time. There's one of me. Also, these shows need to do the job. So I've had incentive to start up the last 2 team channels and call-in shows that are related, or not call-in shows, but live streams that are related to those channels, Iowa and West Virginia. Particular people came to me and they gave me incentive to start those channels. In particular, our guy, Joey Foster, I'll mention him first and foremost to the West Virginia channel. Our guy, Joey, thumbs up to Joey. He supports all the time in regards to, man, getting us great guests. But basically, he came to me and said, Joey just loves West Virginia football, and said, Mark, can you put together a West Virginia channel? You know what my response was? I would love to do that, Joey, but I don't have enough time. I got to focus on the channels I have. I cannot be starting more channels. I cannot be starting more marginal channels that are not, I already have channels that are nowhere close to what I want them to be. I've got too much pride for that, and I want to deliver quality. Too much quantity out there, not enough quality. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. That's the aim. That's the goal. That's the mission. Quality. So I apologize to everybody out there for, at times, marginal content. We are not about mediocrity here. I want to deliver the best. Want to deliver the best. So my apologies for delivering, at times, marginal content. So we don't want marginal content on marginal channels. But Joey loves West Virginia football. Wants it out there, wants it promoted, wants people to know about it. And so he said, Mark, I'm going to get you content creators. I just want you to start the channel. I said, all right, Joey, if you're going to get me the content creators, Golden Blue Dude, Kuz's Corner, Travis Kenobi, and he's gotten us, meaning Joey, all these tremendous guests. And we've got another one coming up this Friday night. So I said, heck yeah, I love that energy. I love that passion that you want me to start a channel so much that you are getting me that kind of support. So thank you, Joey. That is the reason we started a West Virginia channel. So I'm not in the business necessarily of starting any more channels unless I have good reason to do so. If somebody can deliver a sponsor for that channel, or they can deliver content, because I can only produce so much content. All right, so that's the deal with the team channels. And I believe I'm going to do something similar to this that's going to be less involved on all the team channels, to say, this is what I want for this team channel. This is what we want to accomplish. We want to be the best Florida Gators channel. So this is what we're going to do. Understand, if you're a Florida football fan, for example, there is no question. There is no way that I can match. I'm one guy and covering all these teams. There is no way that I can match a Florida Gators channel. Our good buddy, David Waters, has an exceptional Florida YouTube channel and audio podcast, Gators Breakdown. It's the best. Love it. David and I go way back. And we started SEC Breakdown together with a few others, and it was a mission we took on, and we had to go our separate ways, not because anything was bad, but he went the Florida football way, and I went the college football way. And David is outstanding. I cannot compete with David, nor would I want to, on Gators football. However, we've got a Florida Gators football channel. We have David on occasion, and hopefully we're doing him some good by promoting him and his work. But what I can deliver, because there's no way I can compete with beat writers who cover Florida State every day. But if I bring together with my own analysis included, my own perspective. I do have something to say about Florida football or Florida State football or Miami football or Oklahoma football. I do have my perspective and my knowledge and my history with that particular program and my knowledge base and expertise, my area of expertise, but bring together like 4 or 5 other content creators, then we can say we've got an Oklahoma channel, we've got a Texas channel, we've got a West Virginia channel with 4, 5, 6 different perspectives. And this is the only place that you can find all these people coming together to provide that kind of perspective on that football team. So that's pretty much with the team channels. And once again, if you have subscribed to a team channel and it's over 1,000 subs and you do not watch the content, please unsubscribe and take with you my thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Okay, guests and contributors. A few weeks ago, I asked, who do you want to see on the channel? And all of you made different suggestions. At the top of the line was Joel Klatt and Kirk Herbstreit, all the way through all sorts of people that I know and don't know. All right, some of those people, I'll be able to go on Twitter and ask on the show, and they will come on the show. I have tremendous success in getting people to come on. It's not difficult. I had somebody ask me one time, how do you get all those people on your show? Because I ask people onto my show and they don't come on the show. I don't know what to tell you. I go on Twitter and I just hit them up. And 90% of them respond favorably. So that's very nice of them. Okay. A lot of you are throwing out names at the top of the line of college football analysts. Again, I'll bring up Kirk Herbstreit and Joel Klatt. Okay, the only way we've got a shot of bringing on them and some other people in that range is for you to support the cause, meaning we're going to do this at some point in the next few weeks. We're going to do a live stream. And of course, we're going to talk college football, but we're going to take 15 minutes or so. And I'm going to say, okay, I made this list of everybody that you would like to see on the show. I'm going to tweet them right now. Everybody get on their laptop, get on your phone. I'm tweeting Joel Klatt right this second. I'm going to say, hey, Joel, love your work. Would love to see you on our show. Thanks for the consideration. And I'm going to have all of you retweet it, like it, comment to Joel Klatt and say, you got to get on Mark's show. You guys have a great conversation, because that's what they're going to respond to. They're not going to respond to me asking them, most likely. They're going to respond to, oh, this got 53 likes. Oh, 29 people retweeted this. Or I got 58 responses from people that commented back to say I should be on Mark's show. Now, there may be some contractual stipulations that prohibit some of them from coming on. For example, we've had Phil Steele on 5 or 6 times, but there was a time at which he was not allowed by ESPN, surprise, not allowed by ESPN to come on the show. So he said, Mark, man, I'd love to come on the show. I really enjoyed it, but I can't. And that lasted for a few years. But we were able to last off season have Phil Steele on. All right. All right. Got a little deal going on called Patreon. Patreon. Yes. Okay. Costs $5 a month. And it doesn't happen very often, but once in a while, somebody will say, Mark's just trying to get our money, or we'll make some kind of comment about Patreon and make some kind of comment about me trying to get money out of you. Okay, first of all, I need to make money. The channel needs to make money. We need to make money. This is my job. That would be like you going to work and not getting paid. But if any of you either don't want to spend an extra penny on anything entertainment related, or don't have it, I completely respect that. I want you to know that I completely respect that. And I still want to deliver the best possible content to our YouTube channels for free for you to take in. But it only makes sense. And if you can see the model by all sorts of YouTubers and other content creators outside of YouTube, that is part of the business plan. It just is. That you can provide additional content or additional, we can use the term content for just about anything, as an additional revenue stream. So it makes sense to be on Patreon. So what do you get on Patreon? Again, for $5 a month. So it's $5 a month. I believe we get about 85% of that. So just to be honest about where that money goes, Patreon takes about 15%. And we get together 85%. It's like 420. And I have not built that out to the extent that I would like to build it out, but you do get my predictions during the season, and you get the predictions of about 15 other college football writers, analysts, broadcasters that you see here and elsewhere. Guys like Tony Gerdeman, Steve Hellwagon, Steve Dace, Kevin Noon, the Wholesome One, Corey Brada, and I could go on and on. So about 15 of those guys I got together this last season, and they agreed to provide their predictions on 12 games per week. Why 12 games per week? Because the spreadsheet went 12 deep. So I stopped there and I thought, okay, we'll do 12 games a week. But you get my predictions on every top 25 game. I don't know that there's anybody as stupid as I am to predict every top 25 game plus other games. I always do all the top 25 games, both straight against the money line and against the spread. But I also, beyond that, pick out other games that I like. So if North Carolina and NC State are playing and it's a non-top 25 game, but I just want to pick the game, I do everything possible to hurt my prediction record by predicting so many games. Nobody does that. If you go out to various sites, if somebody's promoting their winning percentage, they're typically like, oh, I went 5-2 last week, because they're picking out the 7 games that they feel the strongest about, or their system supports the most to make those predictions. I pick every game. I'm just stupid. I'm just a knucklehead. I'm a glutton for quantity, and I just want to predict every game. So all the top 25 games plus some. So you get at Patreon my predictions for about 22, 23 college football games every week. And then from the other media people that we have on. And I'm telling you, so I'm not a bookie. I'm not a handicapper. I don't have a system. Some people have a system and it works. Very few work. That's why all the big hotels, the fancy hotels in Vegas, because few people can pick college football games correctly or any games correctly. But I will say that I have never gone through a college football season and been anywhere close to being under 500 against the spread. Number one, you've got to hit on about 52 to 53% to make money. And I am almost always way above that. So understand, I'm not promising you or guaranteeing you that I will make you money, but I'm telling you that based on my track record, I'll make you money. So don't come back at me and say, Mark, you didn't make us money in 2022. I didn't promise it. Can't promise the future. I can only tell you what my track record is, and that's 58, 59% against the spread in college football. So anyway, you get my picks, you get other media people and their picks. Discord. Okay. All the time people will say, what's Discord? I didn't know what Discord was 2 or 3 months ago. What are you guys doing right now? There are, according to what I'm seeing right there, 396 comments in the live chat right now. And I would love to see them right now. But I can only see either the banners or the comments. So I can't see the comments. But I will get to the comments later. All right. Discord is that all the time. It is that all the time. 24/7, 365. You can go into Discord anytime you'd like and say something to me, say something to Tim or Eric or Ronan or whoever, or to all of us. And we've got an SEC chat, a Pac-12 chat, an ACC chat, a Big Ten chat, a Big 12 chat, and a national chat. Now, when we get to the season, I'm going to open up chat rooms for whatever topics or games seem to be drawing the most attention. Ohio State, Notre Dame. If there seems to be a need and it really blows up before that, then we'll do that. But I'm not going to make it out to be anything that it's not. We've got about 50 or 55 people that have access to Discord right now. 50 to 55, because that's the number of people that we have on Patreon. And I check it every day, typically make comments back to people, or I just look in. So there is no doubt that Discord is going to work better and be better and more engaging and more interesting and more revved up the more people get in there, because the conversation is going to churn and get more and more involved, and there are going to be more and more options for you to talk about Georgia Tech. You go in there right now to talk about Georgia Tech, probably nobody's going to respond. I'm sorry. We've got about 50 or 55 people. When we got 5,000 people in there, then there might be 48 Georgia Tech fans that'll respond to your comment. But the more people we get in there, obviously, the more interesting the conversations and the more they will be going in different directions. So Discord is a part of Patreon. Join Patreon. I get you a Discord link. So go to Patreon, search MarkRogersTV, sign up for Patreon. I get you a Discord link. There you go. Also on Patreon. So I told you about the Maryland schedule preview. The Maryland schedule preview was probably the one day this year that was the most, at least coming to mind. I'm sure there were other things that happened, but that was the one thing that, there was nothing wrong. I did a Maryland schedule preview. Nobody watched it and whatever, but it was just kind of one of those ding. Okay, Mark, something's got to change here. And I knew that before. I know that when I send out a Duke schedule preview, again, I want to build a channel that just everyone loves the college football conversation and content, and I could put anything out there, but that's not the case. So I can't do that and kill the channel. So I thought, okay, I sent out the Maryland preview schedule, and nobody wanted to see that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back schedule previews and make those available on Patreon. So what we got going on Patreon right now is you make your request for a schedule preview, or you can make many requests for schedule previews. We've had our first one come in, Michigan State. So I'm going to be producing a Michigan State schedule preview, and it's going to go on Patreon. All right. Fear not if you're a Michigan fan, Florida State fan, Miami fan, go through all the team channels that are monetized. Well, I will produce schedule previews for those channels because those channels need content. So we will produce schedule previews for those channels only. But hey, if you're a Purdue fan and want a Purdue schedule preview, it will be on Patreon per request. And that's similar to the exclusive live streams, per request. For a time, I did a monthly live stream on Patreon, but that was obviously a waste of time as well, unless people are requesting it. So if you want an exclusive live stream, everybody on Patreon can request a live stream each month per request on Patreon. Also an insider look. So for example, when I bought all this equipment, I took pictures of it. I put it on Patreon. I have held discussions like this on Patreon. So that's what we have there. All right. voiceofcollegefootball.com. All right. If I am known for anything, I want this to be the number one thing that I'm known for, and that's being authentic and transparent, telling the truth, just being who I am. So I'm going to tell you right now that if you watch all the channels and the content that we have here, there is no reason for you to go to voiceofcollegefootball.com. It is a tremendous website. Our web developer did a great job. It looks beautiful. I love it. I'm happy with it, but there's no additional content there. You're just going to go and find a bunch of links that go back to the YouTube channels. So I'm not trying to sell it to be anything that it's not right now. So it's another vision. So we've got the site, we got the web developer, we've got everything set up. We've got a nice site, voiceofcollegefootball.com, but we need extra content. So we are asking for people that want to write that you would let me know. So what you do is you go to voiceofcollegefootball.com, go to the top of the screen. It says write for us. Click on that. And you'll be in contact with me, and we'll go from there. So if you would like to write college football articles, and that could be anything. If you want to write about Kansas State every week, awesome. I don't want you to write about anything that you don't want to write about. I'm not going to give you assignments unless you want me to. I'll give you assignments, but I want you to write about what you're passionate about, what you're knowledgeable about. So we have had 10 or 12 people contact us about writing for us. And there are 6 or 8, more than that, probably 15 or 20 articles posted there. So we appreciate those people that have posted articles. But that was the suggestion by somebody that knows websites better than I do, that Mark, you need fresh content on that site. And the best way to do that is to post articles. I would love to write articles. I'm a better writer than a broadcaster. There's no doubt about that. I can write better than I can broadcast, but I don't have the time to write. At one point, for about 2 years, I would say, I released a newsletter every Monday to all of you. I got your email address. I released a newsletter, and people loved it. People really liked it. You know, I wrote about whatever hit me that weekend concerning college football, even in the off season, and wrote a little quick article, nothing long, just 4 or 5 paragraphs. And then I would deliver a bunch of stats, facts, and trends that were kind of odd stats. I'm into that kind of stuff. You know, if a kicker averaged 8 yards per punt the previous week or something like that, I would have all these odd stats that I picked up. And it was a fun little newsletter to put together. I would love to get back to putting that together each week. But again, I can only do so much. For anybody that has called me the hardest working man on YouTube, I want you to get this. I appreciate what you mean by that. I truly appreciate. I know that that's a compliment. Number one, it's probably not true. I got to think that there's somebody out there that's going nuts on YouTube, like even 18 hours to my 16 hours a day, something like that. So there's somebody out there that's working harder than me. But I appreciate the compliments from everybody who says, Mark, you're the hardest working man on YouTube. Okay. I want you to understand, though, I don't want to be the hardest working man on YouTube. That's not my goal. My goal is to have a nice balanced life and to enjoy life. So that's not my goal, number one. Number two, I don't want to be known as the hardest working man on YouTube. We want to be known as the college football channel that delivers the best content. I could care less who works the hardest or doesn't work the hardest. And again, I appreciate the compliment, but we don't care who works hard. Doesn't matter. It's about production. It's about quality and production, not about who works the hardest. So that's our aim and our goal. That's the mission, is to produce the best discussion, debate, and analysis. And for me to work half as hard and produce twice as good of the content. That's what we'll do. All right. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Oh my goodness. Every time I get on Twitter, I regret getting on Twitter. Just about every time. Every time I go on Facebook. Yeah, just about every time I regret going on Facebook. But it's a necessary evil. So we had a Facebook account and we had a business page, Voice of College Football, and that got wiped out. Won't go into details, but it got wiped out about 2 years ago. And we had about 2,000 followers on Facebook. So I had to reconstruct that, I would guess, about 6 months ago. And so I need to pull Facebook into this. There is a whole universe of people on Facebook that don't know we're here, and they don't really go to YouTube often, or they would not be able to find us on YouTube. So I got to be able to get us out onto Facebook and grab those people and bring them over here. And it's just one of those things that, number one, I don't know the best way to do it, but I can at least post and see what happens and grab people as best I can. The one thing that I have done on Facebook in recent months is I've gone and I've joined as many college football groups as I can find. So, for example, I'll look up Oklahoma Facebook groups, and I went and I joined like 5 or 6 Oklahoma Facebook groups. And most of them asked me, how did you become an Oklahoma fan? Are you an Oklahoma fan? And I'm honest and I say, nope, not an Oklahoma fan. I run an Oklahoma football channel. Here it is. So I'd like to promote it, or whatever I say. And they've all accepted me. So I'm on like 5 or 6 Miami channels or Miami Facebook groups, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Iowa, and I should just keep going through all the teams. Because what I've been doing is I've been promoting the live streams and promoting the channels. I don't know that it's done any good, but it can't hurt, and I'll just keep. That's the only way I know to do it, is just to keep going. It's like starting this channel and having 8 subscribers after a year. I don't know any better. I'm not bright enough to stop. I just keep going. Same thing with Instagram. I've got like 30 followers. When my Facebook got taken away, my Instagram got taken away, and I lost about 2,000 followers on Instagram. So we got to start up again on Instagram. I don't know how much that's going to help me, but it can't hurt. It's a whole other universe of people that I got to go grab, that we have to go grab. So if you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, look me up. If you need the link, I will send it. I'll post something on the community page so we can get people over to the Facebook page and over to Instagram. And again, I'm not going to try to promote something that doesn't exist. I'm not going to promote something or talk something up that I can't deliver on. If you join our Facebook, it's not a Facebook group. I don't have a Facebook group. It's just a page. So you just like it, follow it, whatever. For all of you who follow what we do here, you're not going to get anything else out of it. You're just helping the channel. You were just helping the channel. I just post schedules over there and just kind of retweet, repost, whatever. It's not a retweet, obviously, but whatever you call it on Facebook. I just take the YouTube content and put it over there. I should take the YouTube videos, and I used to do this, and download it to my laptop and then upload it to Facebook as a Facebook video. I should probably do that once a day. I should deliver a Facebook. So again, Facebook's another endeavor we got to get on. But you can certainly help us out by following us on Facebook. And Instagram is now MarkRogersTV. So understand the whole MarkRogersTV thing and Voice of College Football. I know that could be confusing. I started MarkRogersTV because I didn't know what sports I was going to cover to what degree, so I just wanted to brand my name. I, again, took the advice of a number of people, and it made sense to brand your name. You want to get your name out there, so MarkRogersTV, boom. And then we got into it, and people started calling me the Voice of College Football, so I ran with that. So I know that's maybe somewhat confusing to some people, but Voice of College Football is where we're going. Again, so it's VOCFB, I believe, on Instagram. I cannot verify that for sure. It's Voice of College Football, shortened in some way. Might be Voice of CFB on Instagram. And then on Twitter, MarkRogersTV. Follow me on Twitter. Again, even if you don't go on Twitter, it's just some of these things just help in terms of people are impressed by numbers. So it's possible for me not to gain one more subscriber on here, stay at 34,000, and the views just to blow up and people to love the videos, watch the videos all the time. The subscriber count impresses people, and you gain credibility by subscriber counts. Subscriber counts, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's the truth on YouTube. And I don't say this based on my own analysis. I've had enough people that know YouTube far better than I do explain this. Subscriber count is the most overrated stat on YouTube, but it's impressive to people and it gives you credibility. If I had 340,000 subs and not 34,000 subs, a lot of people would just assume I was better than I am now, even if I was the same exact person. I'm the same exact person with the same exact knowledge at 34,000 subs than when I had 34 subs. I remember a number of people making fun of me when I was producing content and going, you effing idiot, da, da, da. People are mean on social media when they don't have to confront somebody face to face, you know? But anyway, you know, your content sucks or you suck. What do you know? And I could tell that they didn't watch. They just saw that I had 50 subs and assumed that I sucked because nobody followed me. So for the ones that actually took the time when I said, did you watch a video? Did you watch any of these videos? Would you please watch this video? And almost all of them came back and said, oh, sorry, you know what you're talking about. Why do you only have 50 subs? So it's impressive to people. So I want to have 1 million subs for really only 2 reasons. Number one, it looks impressive to people. And again, it gains credibility. That's just should have nothing to do with credibility, but it does. It's the perception of credibility. Let's put it that way. And number 2, if you've got 1 million subs, then it only makes sense that you're going to get a ton of views. So they are related because people tend to watch what they're subscribed to, but not necessarily. Okay. On to my next topic. Sponsors. I don't really know what to say here. I will say that if any of you run a small business or run a large business, how about that? If you run a large business, especially, but you run any kind of business, or you're in contact with anyone who runs a business, you could benefit and your business would benefit from sponsoring our channel. I don't have the time or expertise to go out there and get sponsors. I've tried at times to go out and get sponsors, and it's just a exercise in frustration. So I give up and go back to making videos. So really, what is on this banner right here is probably more key than anything, because I know a lot of you encourage others to give and contribute to the channel, and I appreciate that, and I will always appreciate every dollar, every penny that is sent in via contributions. But this channel and our network of team channels will not be successful based on your contributions. They will not be successful based on YouTube ad revenue, which is very important. I am living on YouTube ad revenue right now. That's all of my income is through YouTube ad revenue. It shouldn't be that way, though. That's not sustainable. what is sustainable is to go out and build alternate revenue streams through Patreon and more so through sponsors. So, for example, we should have a sponsor for the Miami channel with all that great content, 2 live streams every week that get about 4,000 views and tons of content that totals about 80 to 100,000 views per month. We should be able to get a sponsor for, I'm just throwing out a number, $1,000 a month. Something like that. There are metrics out there that I've seen on YouTube, and I've confirmed them in many different places from different sources about how much should be charged on YouTube per view. Something like 1 to 3 cents per view. So we should easily have a sponsor on the Miami channel, for example, for $1,000 a month. Or we could have 3 that each do $800 a month. Whatever the equation is, we should be making our revenue based on sponsorships. It should not be based on YouTube ad revenue or your contributions. Your contributions are phenomenal. They are phenomenal. I appreciate them so much. But we will not succeed based on your contributions. So don't put any pressure on yourself. Just do what you want, do what you can. But that should all come through sponsorships. So 2 years from now, we should have a bunch of sponsorships, or I should be selling insurance or something. And affiliate marketing, again, Amazon. And if I had the time, I would go out and get other affiliate marketing sponsors or whatever they are called, affiliate marketing deals. But the one we've got is Amazon. I figured that was the smartest way to go. Again, I'm not a real smart guy, but it figured, okay, Amazon, this has to involve the most people possible. The most percentage of my audience has to shop on Amazon. So I'm going to do an Amazon affiliate link. And so that's what we provide. And you guys know the deal. All the description sections of all the videos have the Amazon link. Please grab the Amazon link, put it somewhere where you will remember it when you decide to shop. If I were some of you that watched me as much as you watch me, I would get sick of some of these lines, but they got to be delivered. Keep in mind that if you watch ESPN, and I saw a study on this a couple of years ago, and it was fascinating. If you're into this kind of stuff, TV ratings and so forth, that in the typical hour of SportsCenter or NFL Live or any of the studio shows on ESPN, and I'm not picking on ESPN. This would be the same for Fox, probably the Big Ten Network, whomever, that 25 or 30 years ago, like 97% of that show. Now take out all the ads, take out the commercial breaks. We're just talking about when they're on the air at the studio. Like 97% of the show 30 years ago was content. They were talking about football. Or in the case of ESPN or SportsCenter, they were talking about sports. But whatever the content of the show, they were talking sports. They were talking content all the time, like 97% of the time 30 years ago. Do you know what that is now? It's like 65% of the time. Like 35% of the time, and not talking about commercial breaks, 35% of the time during the actual show, they are promoting other shows. They're showing you billboards. They are doing promotions. So people watch that. So I don't apologize or feel sorry for, or again, don't apologize for the 30 seconds per hour that I mentioned that I've got an Amazon link or that I've got a Discord. Because it's very minimal compared to what everybody else does. So The bang for the buck here at the Voice of College Football is high. The bang for the buck in terms of the content that you get for the time spent. But yes, affiliate marketing, Amazon. Man, my goodness, I just think, let's do the math. 34,000 subs, 10% of the people, 3,000 people, less than 10% of the people, 3,000 people a month spent $100 at Amazon, and we would get $2 or $3 out of that $100 per. So those 3,000 people are spending $100. That's 300,000. That's $3 million. We get 2-3% of $3 million. Okay. You see why I pushed the Amazon. All right. I would love to do an audio podcast every week. So what we do right now is, I'm guessing most of you don't know that we do have an audio podcast. If you go to iTunes on Apple, whatever they are now, they used to be iTunes, now they're just Apple, whatever. Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play. I'm probably missing some. There might be one or two more. Those are the main ones. Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. If you look up Mark Rogers TV, you're going to find a podcast, an audio podcast. Again, I'm not going to try to sell something that doesn't exist. There's an audio podcast there. I strip the audio from some of the conversations that we have and post them audio only as an audio podcast. I don't talk about it. I don't promote it. I don't anything it. So it's really not anything. It gets about 120 downloads per episodes. That is the statistics that come back. But to really have a podcast that is successful, I would love to do a podcast, a unique podcast that would be unique, not a repurposed audio version of a video, but a real podcast every week. Love to do one every day, but let's start slow, and maybe someday I'll get to do an audio podcast once per week. For about 6 weeks, I would say about at least 5 years ago, I posted a unique audio podcast every week for, like I say, 6 weeks, 3 months, whatever it was, where I would have a topic and I would produce a podcast. So that is something that's there as an audio version to the videos. So if you ever want to look us up on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or Google Play, we are there. Voice of College Football, Mark Rogers TV, the Voice of College Football. And again, that's another uncharted territory, another potential groundbreaking platform that we could make our mark, venture into. But it's about time. Don't have enough time. All right. Make it look pretty, Mark. Okay. See this? This is not going to get any better. This is 50 some years, and this is just going to be what it is. When I'm talking about making it pretty, we're talking about the set, the graphics, all that. My set does look better than it did 10 years ago when I had a blank wall. You could say that. At least we've come that way, come that far. And at least we've got a legitimate call-in show now with an actual call-in line, and I don't hold the phone up to the mic anymore. So we've made a few strides, but we need to make more strides. This was going to be my off season to redo the set, make it look really nice, and I have not gotten to it. And if I'm going to be realistic about it, I'm not going to get to it because there are so many other things going on with the business and with life and other priorities that I got to knock them out one at a time. And I wanted this to be a priority this off season to revamp the set, make it look nice, make it look better. I would like to have multiple sets, that you're not seeing me sitting in the same chair in the same set all the time. I would like to have some different looks, would be kind of cool. What I would ultimately like to do is to have my set on a platform on rollers and have either a deck or a balcony or just a patio and slide it outside when it's nice out. Just slide it out, the whole thing. But I would like to have various, and I would like to have multi-camera setup as well, but I don't have any camera people and I don't have a remote camera type system. So my camera is right here above my monitor, but I can't control it from where I'm at. I don't have it remotely, but I would love to have a camera shot of me and maybe one from the side, then one up top that showed the whole set. We'd love to have a beautiful set with, yes, Tim and Exploring with Ben, a neon sign, and all sorts of great stuff. But as I've often said, we could watch HGTV and I could tell you exactly what homes I like, what kitchens I like, what bathrooms I like. Absolutely, I could do that all day. But if you stripped down a kitchen or a bathroom to nothing and asked me to design it, I'd be lost. I couldn't do it. But I can tell you what I like. And it's the same thing on YouTube. When I see other people's sets that I like, I can go, ooh, I like that, or I like this. But to do it myself, and it's more complicated than it looks. It actually is. So understand, if I would put, for example, a sign behind me, let's say I picked out a neon sign and I put it behind me. And I fit it for this camera shot. That every time I have a guest on, or sometimes, as you guys know, I have 2 guests on at the same time, or 3 guests on, it changes the camera configuration and the angle, and it'd be gone. The neon sign would be gone, or it'd be cut off, or it'd be here. So I know enough from working in studio operations, production operations at ESPN for 19 years and working with a ton of talented people. I know what I don't know. That's what it taught me for 19 years. I didn't learn enough to be able to do it myself, but I know how complicated it is and what needs to be done. All right. So, yes, and I would love to have a graphics package. Like, for example, ESPN is a graphics package. Fox is a graphics package. Big Ten Network is a graphics package. And even if it didn't say ESPN or Fox or the Big Ten Network or SEC Network, most of you would be able to turn it on and you'd recognize it based on the graphics. And I would love to be able to do the same here. Now we just use StreamYard and their graphics, but I would love to override that with a graphics package that just screamed Voice of College Football. But again, that's not going to get done anytime soon. Merchandising. What a freaking pain in the rear end this has been. So, with the help of my good buddy David Knight, he would have to tell you how much time we spent. It seems like it would be something that would be so simple. But to make a long story short, we picked out and designed shirts and mugs and hats and polos and all sorts of things. And tried to keep it simple, but still provide a variety. Well, the company screwed up the mugs. The mugs came in. I did a test order just to make sure I didn't want any of you ordering items and something didn't work. The transaction didn't work or the items were messed up. So I, of course, did a test run. And number one, the shirts were screwed up. The shirts were embroidered and the embroidery did not replicate the logo correctly. It was all you can imagine. Stitching looks beautiful when it's done correctly, but you can tell a logo that was built by the likes of my son and I don't know, whatever technology was used through Canva. and then you embroider that, you stitch it on a shirt, it just, forget it. Nope, that's not good enough. It looks horrible. Nobody's going to want to buy that. I would not want anyone to buy it. I would not want to put my name on that. And then the mug, I wish I had it here. This was unbelievable. I get a mug in the mail that's supposed to say Voice of College Football on it with the logo. The mug shows up and it's a black mug. It's blank, black. It's just black. And I'm like, what is this? What? And then I looked at it a little closer. Oh, yeah, it very faintly, Voice of College Football. So it was like they stamped the Voice of College Football logo and then they made it black. They put the black So anyway, we spent months and months and months on this, and I just gave up and said, you know what? Forget it. As I understand, I would guess that we're not going to make money on merchandising. It's more about getting the word out there, promoting, giving you guys some nice products, running some contests and giving some things away. All that stuff is about merchandising. I don't think it's so much about that we would make much money off of it because the margins are so slim. But again, it's more about promotion and giveaways and just having something tangible that people can put on their backs or put in their hands and promote the Voice of College Football. But so I don't know when I'll take another stab at merchandising. Is that it? Did I miss anything? I know I did. I know we're going to get off tonight. I'm going to be like, I forgot to say that. Forgot that. But you know what? I got a YouTube channel. I can come on here anytime and say whatever I want. So that's great. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. That's what we want to do. And I want your suggestions. I want your requests. And if I don't follow through on one of your suggestions or requests, I will give you a reason why. We want to be the most unique college football channel on YouTube. We're not there yet. We don't provide the best discussion, debate, and analysis every day. I think sometimes we do. I think many times we do, but sometimes we don't. I got to tell you, I think you guys see it. I know you guys see it. If I'm sitting here for 3.5 hours, if I'm sitting here for 3.5 hours and I'm still getting phone calls, first of all, you got to realize I appreciate that people are still calling after 3.5 hours. And many times I'm still jacked up and ready to roll and talking and engaged and ready to fight and argue and discuss and debate and have a good time after 3.5 hours. Sometimes, though, I'm toast. I got a headache. I'm hungry. I'm just whipped. And you guys can probably tell, I think the last few times I've been on, like the last 2 or 3 callers, I was like, just, I'm not going to, they could say that, Artur Sitkowski is the greatest quarterback in college football history. And I would just go, absolutely. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wasn't putting up any kind of fight or debate to anybody. Just you say what you need to say. You got the platform. Have at it. Have a good night. But we're here. We're here. So we aim to deliver. We do our best, and we will do better. We will do better. I will take your requests and suggestions. I'm going to jump in the comments, and I'm going to go to the bottom. There's no way I'm going to catch up. So I'm going to go to the bottom, which means that I'll never make it back to the top. Not because I don't want to, but because the mechanism will cut it off. It will not let me go back that far. So let's see what we got here from all of you. Well, we do have a super chat coming in, so I appreciate that. And I may miss it. Okay, let me get to as much as possible here. So it is, all right, 10:24. I am going to go to the top. We'll get through this. Okay. So some of you knuckleheads were on here like 45 minutes before we started. So exploring with Ben, Eric, Tim, you guys are great, and you're knuckleheads at the same time. I say that affectionately. You know that. But these guys are on here 45 minutes before. All right. Eric, I posted a video on the running back acquisition there at Oregon. Marquise Irving. Okay. Let's get to the good stuff. Let's go. Oh, this is still before we even started. Let's get there. Felipe, hit the like button. Bam. Dependent Fanatic made a live stream today. Interesting. Dependent Fanatic, appreciate you being here. And you made my live stream. And keep in mind, everyone, Scott Frost, NCAA, that story, we will discuss and analyze that on our Nebraska show on Tuesday night. Ferris is here. I don't want to acknowledge everybody that's here. Well, I do, but you know that'll take forever. Okay, and I understand that much of this is going to be college football discussion. And you know what? For one day in my life, I don't care about college football. Manny, thank you so much for chiming in. You're the best. Appreciate that. Eric, like the video, you degenerates. LBC Trojan, thank you so much for the contribution, and thank you for the acknowledgement there. Lemansky says, hit the like button. Thank you for that. Lemansky. Again, I would love to say hi to everyone. Dependent Fanatic, you're awesome. Rob J, appreciate you being here. Ferris again. One Scoop John. Michael. Let's get, you guys have anything? Whoa. Falconer X. Falconer X has the best avatar, and he is the king of the super sticker. Falconer X, thank you so much for the contribution. As DeAndre says all the time, DeAndre says this, and George says this all the time. Can you imagine if everybody gave you $2 a month? Absolutely. Falconer X, thank you so much for that. Did we have anything pertaining to the conversation? All right. Tim is the first, but this is about the 500th comment, and Tim is the first one that says anything about anything I was talking about. Thank you, Tim. What caught my eye about Mark's channel was the fact that he did not pretend like he was not a fan, and the fact that he does his best to be objective, and he does a good job of that. Thank you so much for that. Here's the deal. When I started the channel, I didn't want to be looked at as just some knucklehead fan. Okay? So I'll say that first and foremost. I didn't want to be a knucklehead fan, but I also didn't want to be some like high and mighty, I know more than you, and you all need to listen to me, and not being accessible. Like, I wanted to be, okay, this guy knows his stuff. He's informed. He's knowledgeable. He loves the sport, and he knows what he's talking about. And I wanted to earn a level of respect, but at the same time, I wanted to be accessible. This guy's just like us. He's no better than us. He's just like us. He's accessible. He wants to talk to all of us. I wanted that combination of both. That's what I was shooting for. Exploring with Ben, thank you so much for encouraging everyone. I appreciate that. John's a numbers nerd. The more the numbers, the better for me, Mark. Okay, we will do our best, but again, not just numbers, but we'll put it into context. I've got a few things roaming around in my head concerning numbers. I'm also going to do player rankings, similar to what we did with the quarterback transfer rankings for 2022, doing quarterback rankings. Then we'll go through all the positions. Falconer X. Oh my goodness. I find Mark to be fair on all of college football, including Ohio State 2002. I don't know what word that is. I can't pronounce it. National championship. Ohio State's 2002 national championship. Mozart, good to see you. 2011. I don't know what you guys are talking about there. The real MVP. Harry, thank you so much for the compliment there. Keeping it real is the main thing. You do that, and that's why I watch. Common sense is more important than intelligence. I hope so, and I hope I've got it. Dependent fanatics, like 5 years in. Nice. Falconer X with an interesting take there. I tend to back this one up. If it weren't for the bad turf, the ACC would have dominated the NFL draft. Lisa, thanks for being here. I respect the fact that you were honest about our Buckeyes, whether we like it or not, everyone, which is true, but they always talk about how none of our former Buckeyes have not done anything in the NFL. Falconer X has been here about a year. Falconer X, you have made up for a lot of lost time. You're here and you're getting it done. Jet Mech, why did you start a YouTube channel? Oh, okay. I'll try to keep this brief. So I was a broadcaster for 10 years. Then I went to ESPN, got into production operations management. And then there was somebody, and this is at the point that ESPN was starting its digital media. You know, digital media is everything now. ESPN.com and all their other digital media, ESPN Plus, everything digital. Shoot, TV's antiquated. So they were starting this, but it was the wild, wild west. It wasn't important to the company, but they knew that they had to do something. So they were kind of locking their digital stuff in the bottom of what is Building 4 on the ESPN campus. So anyway, they were building out their digital stuff, and somebody dropped my name. Somebody that I will never know knew that I did on-air work, basically got to the digital head of ESPN and said, you need to hire Mark Rogers. So he found me and said, we were having a meeting about who to hire, who we needed on this digital platform, and somebody suggested you. And I said, who was that? And he said, I'm not going to tell you, just somebody suggested that I talk to you. So I got an audition and I showed him my resume tape. I had to dig it out. It was like 10 years old, 6 years old, and dug out my resume tape and all that and auditioned. And he's like, yeah, I love this stuff. You can do the job. And so I had this other job. I'm a manager type at ESPN, but I also want to do on-air stuff for digital. So I worked as a freelance, and they paid me like $300 a shift. And I would, for example, I'd go in there on, let's say it was April. There was Major League Baseball, there was NHL, there was NBA playoffs, and they would, I'd sit at a desk and I would monitor every game I could possibly monitor. I'd go in and shoot anchor leads for all the games, like a 15-second anchor lead. I'd have to write the leads, you know, Reds are on an 8-game losing streak, whatever, my anchor lead for all the games. And then I would just wait for the games to end. And as soon as they ended, they would want me to cut a voiceover over the highlights. And so I would get a shot sheet with the highlights, you know, first inning, Derek Jeter single to right, scores A-Rod, Yankees up 1-0, And you embellish if you're decent at what you do. You of course embellish on the shot sheet. You just don't read the shot sheet. You've got your own flair, your own style and personality. And so anyway, I would voice over all the games of the night, and I'd work 6 or 8 hours. And but the problem is I had a full-time job, and most of the time that they needed me, like I'm talking like 98% of the time they needed me, I'd have to turn them down because I was working at my ESPN job. So that didn't work out, unfortunately. Plus, they started to they basically wised up that they could just repurpose from TV to put that online. So in the midst of doing all that, one of my buddies said, who worked at ESPN at the time, my guy Marty, thanks to Marty, if Marty did not exist, if Marty, without his help, I would not be sitting here and would not have this series of YouTube channels without Marty. Believe me. If any of you have been with me when I've had issues on the call-in show or certain things, I've been actually just pulling my hair out like, what's going on? Why don't I have audio, whatever? And I'll get on the phone with Marty, call him. He'll be like, check that, check that, check that, check that. Boom, it's done. So some of you have witnessed this. So Marty said to me, Mark, you're really good. Like I sent Marty links, like he would be working my day job and I would be over across campus doing my freelance stuff for ESPN Digital, and I'd shoot him links of what I was doing that night, and he'd be like, this is really good. You should be doing this all the time. This is what you love doing, right? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, start a YouTube channel. I was like, oh, sure. So that's how I started a YouTube channel. And ESPN had no issue with my YouTube channel, and I got HR to sign off on my YouTube channel. I went directly to them. I didn't try to hide anything. Said, here's my YouTube channel. Do you have any issues with it? Nope. Signed it. Doop. Gave me a few little stipulations, which of course I adhered to. But that all changed years later. Lebansky. Rob J just joined us about a year ago. Good to see you. Eric, what do I mention every show? Let me know what I mention every show. Rob J found me on Dace, on Michigan Podcast with Steve Dace. Great. We're getting our various comments about Paul Finebaum when I was talking about Finebaum, which I've got mixed reviews on Finebaum. When I first came across Finebaum, I did not like him. That was my first impression, was I don't like Finebaum. But the more I've listened to him, I respect him. I think he's good at what he does. He's extremely knowledgeable and informed and insightful about the big picture items. He knows the landscape of college athletics and college football. He knows what an AD does, what a head coach does, what an administration does. Don't call him and ask him about LSU's defense. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So he has a certain expertise and a certain style. And again, when I first came across him, I had nothing against him. He rubbed me the wrong way, but that was a long, long time ago. And I watched him for years, and I've grown to respect him and admire his work. And I couldn't even tell you at the time what rubbed me the wrong way. I just didn't like it at first. G Bama Boy, Finebaum, the best college show on TV. Mark runs the YouTube universe on college football. Thank you so much for that, G Bama Boy. McD, yes, was one of the 13 that watched my Maryland preview. That must have been it. Manny, people need to share the channel. Thank you so much for that. So understand you guys are in a position that I'm not in, meaning that I know that most of you look at your Twitter accounts and think, oh, 13 people follow me, 87 people follow me, whatever the count is, and you think, what good is that going to do? Most likely those 13 people don't know who I am. Those 88 people don't know who I am, don't know that we're here talking college football every day. And even if they do, some of them do, they're not thinking about it. So anything that you can do to face-to-face or over the phone or over text or on Twitter, on Facebook, to tell people and tell them about what you enjoy. Tell them about what you like. You don't have to try to sell the entire channel. If you're a Miami fan and you want to sell the Miami channel and what we do on Miami, have at it. And you want to say, I could care less about everything else that Mark does. I just want to tell my Miami friends that they kill it on Miami football a couple times a week and really every day. Just sell that stuff that you're passionate about and that you like. Michael, man, again, I don't know what to do about. So here's going to be my problem. I said off the top that this is going to be a national channel, all national. And then if you want to find the Alabama stuff, it's going to be on the Alabama channel. The Ohio State stuff's going to be there. But this is where we have a problem. I don't want to neglect Maryland, Purdue, Kansas State, etc. They don't have channels. So if I do Maryland content, I guess I'm going to have to put it on the main channel. So we're going to have all the oddball teams. Sorry, Michael, you know what I mean. The non-elite top of the line teams here on the main channel, I guess. Or I'm going to stick all that stuff on Patreon. So don't know what to do about that exactly, but I do not want to I don't want to be talking about Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, and Alabama every day. I like talking about teams that get disregarded. I really do. I do. Rot, I think this is a good time to show everybody the Voice of College Football welcome. Because Rot, I don't know that I've seen your handle. But you know what? Welcome to the Voice of College Football. Would love to know who you root for besides the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe Pitt, maybe Penn State, and how long you've been watching. But you bring up a great point here. I wanted to get to this too. Okay, I apologize to all of you so much. There are too many ads on most of my videos. I am sorry. Okay. I don't know how to correct this. I got to dive deep into this to figure it out. Every so often I think of this. Either I see a complaint in the comments or I just think about it and I go back and I can check any video. And the reason it doesn't come to mind is that I've paid for YouTube Premium. So I pay the $15 a month just because I'm on YouTube so much. That would be such a waste of my time. I've got to just, I sat through ads for years and years and years, and I can't do it anymore. So I do it for business purposes. I can write it off. YouTube Premium. Okay, so I don't get ads. So I have kind of forgotten over the last year about ads. Okay, but sometimes I'll go back and check on a particular video, and YouTube will show me exactly when they put the ads. 1 minute, 17 seconds, 4 minutes, 31 seconds, etc. And when I see it, and it happens every video, that they will automatically put an ad in at like just over a minute. And I'm like, no, I do not want people watching a 20-minute video and after 1 minute there's an ad. No. And so I got to delete that. And I usually delete over half of the ads that they've put in, but I only spot check that once in a while. So most of the videos are delivered with whatever ads that YouTube puts in them at whatever times. And they always do it. Unless I post like a 4-minute video, then they won't put an ad in that early. But if it's the typical 15 or 20-minute video, they'll put an ad in at like 1:20, and I delete it every time. and I delete most of them. I don't want an ad in until the 4 or 5 minute mark. And then I don't want the next one at 7 minutes. I'll put it at like 12 minutes. And then at like 19 minutes, 3 ads for the entire 25-minute video is fine, but not like 9 ads. So that I am sorry for that you guys have to go through that. And there's got to be a way to change those settings. And I've looked at it and have not figured it out. But that has to be addressed. Yeah, maybe I should make a list here. That is probably, it hurts your viewing experience and ultimately probably hurts me too. The ads setting. Dependent Fanatic. I will watch that, Mark. You have great content no matter what you do. It's up to us to share. Thank you for that. The real MVP, somebody was explaining to me in the last couple of days, our good friend there at SD1 Sports, Chris, about how videos feed off of other videos. And even if you have a successful video, so for me, during college football season, during this last college football season, my average video was close to 3,500 views, about 3,000 views or more. That was my average video. I'm not doing that now. It's probably more like during the off season. I hope it's more in the 2,000 range. I would love to get to a point where we're cranking out videos and the average video is like 25,000 views, but we'll get there. So it was explained to me that even if you have a successful video, so for me, that'd be, let's say, a video with 5,000 views. If that does not get the viewer to stay on your channel to click another video, that's still going to hurt your YouTube algorithm. If people aren't going, oh man, I really like that video, I'm going to click on another of Mark's videos. If they leave after the one video, then YouTube looks down on that as being unsuccessful. You did not keep that person on your channel. There it is right there. Falcon Rex. Sell your channel to Elon Musk for $4.4 billion. Love it. Jet Mac is suggesting, Mark, you should reach out to Jeremy Foley, former AD at Florida, to see if he would do a series of interviews on how an athletic department functions, why coaches' salaries are out of control, etc. Sure. All right. Eric doesn't like whatever I suggested then, or whatever the idea was, I guess, for me. I don't know what that was at the time, but Jason is saying, I'd rather hear about individual teams than stuff about conferences. The conference stuff is boring. Okay, here's the problem, Jason. On the main channel, if I produce a video about Ohio State, people will watch it. Michigan, people will watch it. Okay, other than those two, Notre Dame, probably. Oklahoma, probably. LSU, probably. Ohio State and Michigan. Notre Dame usually does pretty well. It's sporadic, though. Listen to this. Oklahoma. So we had Parker Thune on 3 consecutive times, like in almost 3 consecutive weeks. And I put that complete video, Oklahoma video, on the main channel. The first one did about 11,000 views. Great. Second one did less than 3,000 views. Okay, not the best. The third one, last I checked, was 500 views. From 11,000 to less than 3,000 to 500. The quality of the videos are the same. Same guest, same type conversation. Obviously, it was an update on, so it wasn't the same video. Now, also understand that what goes into the YouTube algorithm is how well I write these titles. So I want the title to be catchy, and I want it to be engaging and it to be intriguing, interesting, but it's going to be authentic. It's going to be true. I'm not going to write a clickbait title and just put Nick Saban sucks just so people will click on it when I'm not going to say Nick Saban sucked. So I'm trying to find that place where you can write titles. So you got to include key words in the title like Alabama and Nick Saban, but also you want to write something that's intriguing. And again, I want it to be truthful, not clickbaitish. So that ties into it. And the thumbnail. So you guys see my thumbnails. What do you think of my thumbnails? They're okay. I've gotten to a place where I can make a competent thumbnail, but there are people out there that make far better thumbnails than I do. And thumbnails are huge in terms of the importance to the video. The thumbnail, you wouldn't think, but the thumbnail attracts the attention. And I mentioned, and I realized that most of you are in and out of these conversations, so you're just catching part of this, but about a half hour I mentioned Think Media. They will tell you the most important thing, besides the content's got to be good, after the content is building a thumbnail that attracts people. I don't know if my thumbnails are attracting people. I don't know how to do that. My son taught me how to build a thumbnail. Then he cut me loose, and they're okay. And sometimes I think they're pretty good until I see other people's thumbnails, and I'm like, well, they're really not that good. So thumbnails. Michael, you need an awesome college football studio. Absolutely. Dependent Fanatic, if you were talking about my schedule previews, you actually may have a point there. For schedule previews, I probably should have started with Ohio State, started with a popular team, and then put the other teams after that. But I will have the Ohio State schedule preview on the Ohio State channel. Connor says, I think continue to remain patient. Pumping out content also couldn't hurt if you latched onto another sport during the offseason. No, sorry. No. Number one, don't want to follow any other sports. Number two, okay, name a sport. Baseball. Okay? If I'm doing baseball during the baseball season, I'm not talking about recruiting, transfer portals. I'm not previewing schedules or giving you any kind of off-season topics or top 25 rankings or position rankings, or look at all the content that we provide all the time. I'd be producing baseball videos, and that would piss off college football fans. They'd be like, what is this? All of a sudden there's baseball videos. Okay, so then I'd start to attract some baseball fans. And then guess what? The college football season starts at the end of August. And then what do? Every season, every sports season overlaps with the other sports seasons. No. Falconer X, you actually bring up a good point about underserved fan bases. So there's a difference between popular teams and underserved teams. So Ohio State might have 10 million fans, but they've got a zillion sites that cover them. Wisconsin might have 2 million fans, which is 5 times less than Ohio State, but might be really underserved. So I should go after Wisconsin. But I don't really know those numbers or have that. And that's what I struggle with too. I've got my surefire teams and then other teams that I know if I post content on Minnesota, nobody's going to watch. We get Daniel House in here, if you guys are familiar with him, and he is phenomenal. I could have him on once a week to talk Minnesota football. But you know what? Nobody watches the videos. They get like 400, 500, 600 views. But part of me says if I stay at it, will I bring in Minnesota fans? Eventually, will I pull them in? But in the meantime, I'm producing videos with 500 views, and I can't do that because that kills the channel. Mozart is saying that based on his comments in the chat right now, Google will recommend me a video later. I wasn't really aware of that. That makes sense that if you're in a live chat in a particular channel that you're telling YouTube that you like that channel, you're watching a live stream, that they would suggest a video. Yes, I'm asking you to unsubscribe, Mozart. Yes, I actually am. I don't know what you're laughing about right there. I don't know what I said at the time. But yes, if you're subscribed to a channel that you don't watch the videos and it's over 1,000 subs, please unsubscribe. Yes, Eric, what's our next chore? Falconer X subscribed to Notre Dame and had to go to confession. This guy never ceases to deliver. Mark sending more mixed messages than my bilingual ex-girlfriend. Was that difficult to? I know you guys are doing a million things at once. You're watching TV, you're probably listening to music, you're in the live chat, and you're listening to me. Plus, you got somebody else there that's bothering you, or maybe not bothering you. So I get it, but it's pretty simple. If you have subscribed to a channel that you don't want, that you don't like the content, but you did it for me, you did it to build us. Okay. You subscribe to a channel that you don't like the content, and the channel's gone over 1,000 subs. Unsubscribe, because that hurts the channel. Okay. Thank you for subscribing to get us to 1,000. But now that we're at 1,000, we don't need people that are subscribed that don't like the content. That actually hurts the channel. YouTube is seeing 5,000 subs and nobody watches this channel, rather than 2,000 subs, people watch it. Lisa, thank you so much. I appreciate that you watch as much as possible. You take care of your life. Please take care of your life. Connor, I appreciate you telling me to be patient and continue to grind away with the content. Patience and persistence. If I have not exemplified patience and persistence, I've had a YouTube channel for 12 years. You know how many times, especially since I'm belong to this group, this Think Media YouTube group, you know how many people start YouTube channels and they get frustrated after like 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, and they're like, I only have 87 subscribers. Well, it took me 3 years to get 8. No, I have been patient. Okay. And I appreciate the success that I've had. So don't get me wrong here. I am so grateful and appreciate where we've come, but we need to keep going and we need to do this better. I'm not talking about you. I do. So hopefully that makes sense. But if there's been somebody that's been patient on YouTube, I don't know that anyone has been more than I have. Splitting up your viewers is a bad idea. All right, Eric, we'll have to talk about this sometime, but I don't know that you're understanding that it is better to have small concentrations of loyal viewers than it is to have 34,000 subscribers that don't watch anything because they see a Maryland video, then a Minnesota video, then an Oregon video, so yes, that's the problem. Eric, you love Oregon content? Subscribe to the Oregon channel. I know you are. Keep locked in there. Stay here. You're going to get national topics, conversation right here. And then anybody else you're interested in. If you're interested in USC, go over there, subscribe there. That's it. Turf channel. You know what I thought of? Thank you to Real MVP. Clips channel. I'll let you know when that's underway. The Clips channel. Anything that's where we had a, toe-to-toe crazy debate, ripping each other's tongues out, or something funny, or I said something stupid, or maybe my bloopers. Clips channel. Voice of College Football, Clips. I don't know what I had going there that Willie said I had a good idea, great idea, day and length. Don't know about that. Okay, Demetrius Rex says, I don't really enjoy the format of the Notre Dame channel, which would be the same as the other team channels. Would rather have access to the long form interview rather than 2-minute snippets of the interview. Okay. I understand that. We can't please everyone. Dependent Fanatic, listen to your instincts. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Fish, my problem is I try to remember all the show times and I end up forgetting them all because there's too many to remember. And I've got to remind myself to over communicate. Sometimes I think I communicate this all the time, but I got to remember over communicate. What about team call-in shows? Yep. Yeah. Again, I only have so much time though. That is the problem. Only so much time. So we've got 9 of them right now. So we've got 9 team live streams. So that probably takes up 14 hours of my week, and then call-in shows. So I would like to add call-in shows or live streams at least for a lot of the team channels that we have, like Clemson, USC. Lamansky. Understand, Mark. National topics, call in, specific, then the team, specific team. Yeah, okay. So Eric says, Mark, just do a call-in show 3 times a week at the same time. Okay, when is that time going to be? So let's say if we went Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, at 9 o'clock at night. All right, Wednesday's going to be a lousy day because I'm going to be toast by then because I've already done Oklahoma, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and Miami. I've already done 5 live streams and who knows how many records during the day. So the last thing I want to do is talk to you knuckleheads at 9 o'clock. And I'm kidding. A term of endearment at 9 o'clock at night on a Wednesday. So anyway, I think I explained, and based on the timestamp on your comment, that yeah, it's just going to be difficult because there is life going on, and I've got 9 other live streams to try to figure out. And I also want to, if I do it at the same time, then some people may say, I'm always working then, or I'm always whatever then. So part of me thinks that I should have call-in shows at different times of the day. Like I should do one Monday at noon, Tuesday at 9, Thursday late night, Friday mid-afternoon, or whatever. Daniel says during the college football season, call-in shows every Monday night, plus after the playoff rankings come out. Well, we did that. We did it actually during the playoff rankings, and that was very successful. That was great. And I simulcasted to all the team channels that were involved in the playoff rankings. Yep. The real MVP. Mark needs a second host. We need a good second host. So the one thing I noticed is very interesting is it seems like you guys know when I'm hosting and when somebody else is hosting. So during the college football season, we had post-game shows for Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, Nebraska, Iowa, Florida State, Miami, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Virginia Tech. So we had live post-game shows for all those. This is what I noticed. If I was doing a post-game show, then I would get a certain number of people on there. If I was doing a live post-game show and I put somebody else, let's say the Penn State show or the Notre Dame show, on at the same time, both on the main channel, then I would get 90% of the audience. It was just odd to see that. I'm trying to say this without it sounding arrogant, but it was the truth. It was obvious to see that the Miami show did well with other hosts. Nebraska, okay. Michigan did pretty well. But pretty much everything else that I hosted would just kind of lay to waste the other show. So I'd have to be really confident in another host being. Some of you are here for different reasons. Some of you just want to hear anything you possibly can get on Michigan or the Big Ten or the SEC or whatever, or anything college football. Or some of you would rather hear it from me than hear it from somebody else. It's just there's a combination of things working there. Falcon Rex, Kiss, Miami, USC, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Keep it simple, stupid. Okay, so basically Falcon Rex is saying just do Miami, USC, Notre Dame, and Ohio State. Well, and Purdue, yes. Roger Dodger. Okay, this is good right here. So do you guys see the post that I send out every morning that's got the live schedule? Roger Dodger says it would be nice to have the day's menu every day of the shows. I know you do it now sometimes, but I need it every day. I do it every day. It's on the community page every day. I put it on there. If there's a live show, I'll put the schedule. Wednesday live schedule. Do. So hopefully you all see that. You could do something like conference night, Gil says. Conference night. Again, to try to fit that in. Wow. And I don't know that a lot of people are interested in conferences. Our SEC channel's doing all right. Oh, it's really not. No, it's not. It's not doing all right. The Big Ten channel's gone. It's done. Burned to the ground. Awful. Didn't work. Well, Firmus paradox. That is certainly, you know, I've should I even say this? Yeah. I've had girlfriends in the past. Well, one in particular that I thought, throw her there. Mark, she can read mail, read your viewer emails, comments that come in. I respond. There you go. Even told her that. She's like, anyway. Yes, Exploring with Ben. You can unsub from Notre Dame. Lemansky likes my strategy. Thank you. Lisa says, I come on here to watch a certain type of YouTube videos right now, but I make it a point to try to tune into this channel when I can to keep updated as nice as I can with Ohio State football during the off season. Why is the Georgia helmet hid behind the Michigan helmet? Because I really don't care where the helmets are right now. Michael, get Mike Loxley on the show. Okay, back to high level, popular, big time type guests. Mike Loxley, I got to go through the school to get Mike Loxley. He's probably not going to come on the show. Okay. But also understand that this is what we're going to do. A couple weeks ago, I asked all of you, who do you want to see on the show? I got a list of people. And some of them I could just go grab and they will come on. Others, you know, Joel Klatt and Kirk Herbstreit aren't going to come on unless you make it happen. So I went through that several minutes ago. Hopefully you saw that, because during one of our live call-in shows, we're going to take about 15 minutes. I'm going to say, here's the 22 people that you suggested I get on the show. Now I'm going to tweet them right now, and I want everybody that's on Twitter to retweet it, like it, and bother them. Willie, how about a regular trivia question for the call-in shows? A regular trivia question. Well, as long as people aren't going to cheat and look on Google. Does that mean you guys want to ask me trivia questions? And I'll sit here and make sure that you'll see that I don't have a phone or I can't look at anything and you quiz me, or we ask you trivia questions. I don't know. You're a good man. You're allowed to do that, Mr. HD. Yes, Lisa, bring on Ryan Day on here to join and talk Ohio State football. As Tim mentions right here, he's talking about Patreon, not to shame any of the regulars, but it's $5. Think of it as a monthly donation for the hours and hours. Can you send me a check? You can send me a check. I certainly suppose you can send me a check. Who was that? That was Dependent Fanatic. Send me a check. I would appreciate that. Let me find the... Got so many folders here. So this is our P.O. box of sorts. It's Mark Rogers, 15 South Main Street, 1007. So that's where people send the helmets. Mark Rogers, 15 South Main Street, Number 1007, beautiful Torrington, Connecticut, 06790. Lisa, you and anybody else, please do not feel like you need to contribute anything financially. Absolutely. We just appreciate you being here. Please hit the like button. Please just let people know that you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, please just let people know. That's most important. Willie, I was on Patreon until you ranked Jim Harbaugh number 9 coach in college football. Might rejoin again depending on what I feel about the shows. You need to hit 60% to cover the juice. That did it for Willie. I had Harbaugh ranked number 9 in college football, 9th best coach in college football. So I don't know if he's supposed to be like number 2. So he's supposed to be like number 37. So number 9 was certainly not right. I tried to fix that. So Mike brought that up about certain channels that are not on the main channel listing. And I messed around with that for I don't know how long to try to fix that. And I couldn't get it to add those channels. So I don't know what the deal is there. NIL. You see all these podcasts out there, but they're affiliated with pretty big operations, typically like Rivals, On3, whoever else, 247 Sports, where they've got NIL deals where they get athletes on a particular time or coaches or whatever. So, Cheryl, good to see you right here. Mark May, Lou Holtz. McD says this Discord will be popping. All right, McD, you get on there. Let's get it going. Man, see, that's the thing. That's just all about momentum. That's all there is to it. Like if it is what it is, I've already set it up. It's all set up. Our good buddy Garrett George set it up actually, but I directed him and we put it together, and it's there. So it's all about the momentum of like if there's 4 people on there, it's probably going to die. But if you get it, if it gets to a certain threshold of people on there, it's just going to create more and more discussion, debate, and conversations going. That's going to fuel it and make it more and more and more attractive. That more and more people are going to go in there and say, you know, I'm a Pitt fan. Oh, there's only 3 people in here and they're not Pitt fans. Versus I jumped in here and there's like 120 people in here and I see some Pitt fans and it just will. It's got to hit a certain point that the momentum's going to carry it and the conversation's going to carry it. I jump in there at least once a day just to see who's posted what and to respond if it's applicable. And so, but I don't think my conversation, my interaction with you guys in there is going to make it a success. It's going to be all of you getting it going. So, what was I just going to say? Reddit. I know very little about Reddit, and I do belong to Reddit. I just haven't looked at it in probably 5 years. But something brought Reddit to my mind today that I should get on there. But again, just still so much to do. Can I talk like Lou Holtz? Jerry, should I try? It's going to be the worst imitation you had ever heard. I've never tried. If I am no impressionist, but the few people that I've not nailed, but I'm okay at, I've noticed that I do best if I hear it and then immediately try to imitate it. Like, I haven't heard Lou Holtz talk in 5 years, probably. Where's he been? I haven't seen him since he was on ESPN. Probably been more than 5 years that he's been off ESPN, right? So I have not heard Lou Holtz speak for at least 5 years. So I would have to hear, like, if I heard him right now, I'd give it a shot. I'm not big on lisps. That would be tough to do. Bam. Once I bring up somebody, first it was Finebaum. Finebaum held this chat for I don't know how long, and now it's Mark May and Lou Holtz. And yes, I'm still behind. Mike says there could be a welcome video on the front of this main channel that explains the mission and introduces all the channels and writers to new people, a brief summary. So that would be a, what's called that? A trailer. Yeah, I could do a trailer. Trailer, yeah. With that. Sure. Mozart remembers my emails back in the newsletter days of the Voice of College Football. Absolutely. I enjoyed those. All right. Connor says you need new music. Every time I load up a video, I have to turn down the volume because the guitar chord is too loud. Okay, somebody else produced those. I would have to go into everyone and reduce the volume and then republish it. And there are 25 team channels. I can't guarantee that's going to happen, but when I used to produce the opens that said Mark Rogers TV, I would put a different, I had like probably 15 or 20 different music cuts that I would include. So I mixed it up. Man, Matthew, appreciate you being here. Falconer X says, Mark, you do more than Uncle Tony's garage, and he is nuts. Deerfield Noel, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for that. Always content from the Voice of College Football, the place where I get my daily knowledge. Good. Good crap, good shit. Yeah, that sounds better. There we go. Falconer X, Mark, to a song on TikTok. Ah. Falconer X was in Facebook jail, and Dependent Fanatic says it's evil. Yes. Ballard, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing that. It's just submitted something on your website. That's very cool. Thank you for that, Ballard. And I got to tell you, here's the deal. We'll not be paying anybody for articles initially, but I am all about sharing the wealth. So I want to honor everybody that joins me on here. So we've got these team channels with live streams, and so the super chat money is shared on those live streams, myself and my contributors. Okay. The same thing with those articles. So we don't have any revenue coming in on the website, but if we could get some sponsors from generating some page clicks, then I will be very forthright in sharing that. Okay. I will say, Rob, that my Elvis impersonation sucks, but it's still better than most. It sucks, but it's better than most. And this is obviously the part of the chat when I was talking about Facebook. Oh, if we could do a website that had, oh man, message boards in there, and I would do polls. I should do more polls on Twitter, but on the website, polls and contests and trivia stuff and all that kind of stuff to build up a site. Yes. Porter, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for that. Connor, we've had Josh Pate on twice. And yes, I will get him back. Mark, you need TikTok. Oh, Lord. What would I do on TikTok? Does everybody basically just do they do weird videos, right? They lip sync to videos and put together weird dances and whatever kind of dances. That's what they do, right? That's the only thing I've ever seen from TikTok. The only two things I've ever seen on TikTok are, and the second one is partially a political commentary, so you'll have to pardon me. But the first one is, is basically a bunch of kids doing music videos where they lip sync and they put together dances, or they make it funny by bringing in their parents to make them look stupid, and it goes viral. Or they're some like demented teachers that are teaching their kids in the school, in the classroom, sex education. And I've seen some real freaky teachers that should be banned. And so that's all I've seen from TikTok are politically driven videos and a bunch of dance moves. Rob, appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for that. And you probably can't hear me because you've already left. Ballard found the Instagram. So yes, my Instagram, unfortunately, we had 2,000 on Instagram. Now we're back down to like 30 because they got wiped out and I had to start back over. Dependent Fanatic, thank you so much for that. One Scoop John, still happy to write if needed. I'm a little behind on the live video. Oh, you must be watching. Yes. Daniel Collects, thank you so much for that comment. Appreciate your support. Okay, I am going to catch up with the stream. What is it? It's, oh man, it's 11:28. No, I'm not. Yes, Falcon Racks, thank you for that. Sponsors Equal Live Reads. We've had a couple different sponsors. Somebody sponsored the Nebraska show for 10 weeks, and somebody sponsored the live call-in shows last winter. So we did get sponsors for a little while, and I did not go out there and grab those. They approached me. Yes, Coos's Corner. Justin, you're exactly right. Affiliate marketing's tough, and I push it and push it and push it and push it here because it seems like it would be so easy because you would think, okay, these people watch and they're already shopping there, so why don't they just go ahead and do it? Web security, don't mention the stock market to me, please don't. Please don't. Thank you, Lisa. Uncle Rico, I was on a roll at 10 after 10, apparently. One Scoop John, I finally signed up for Patreon. Also, go blue. One Scoop John, appreciate that. Keep in mind, One Scoop John, that you got a schedule request. Store as many as you want. Schedule previews. I will deliver there on a Patreon. Thank you, Ballard. How do you do 26 hours of content every day? Yep, I'm a magician. We make it happen. Sebastian says, don't put effort into your Instagram. The only thing I was going to do there is just post my schedule every day and put pictures up, whatever. That's what it is. It's a picture platform. Sebastian letting me know, unless you plan on endorsing workout gear or health drinks, your content is not geared for monetizing a large Instagram following. Well, I would do that stuff. Exploring with Ben. I'll take it, baby. Oh, man, there he is. And he's probably not here at this point to hear my reply, but there's my guy, Brent, Elvis Nation. Thank you so much for being here, Brent. Appreciate it. Loves the Michigan Wolverines. And it has been a pleasure to see Brent's channel grow, and he's got a phenomenal channel. The real MVP says that Instagram is 80% female. Do you know that? And I could do hot takes. See, that's another thing. But again, it's all about time. It's about ideas and executing the ideas, of course, but it's also about time. Powcar, appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much for that. Gil, this would be my man cave at the time being. Oh man, Falconer X. You would think we would be able to get Miami sponsors. That Miami channel, our most successful channel, aside from the main channel, Miami's the most successful channel. There's no question about it. Ohio State's probably number 2. And then it kind of fluctuates between Michigan and Oklahoma. Pretty much. Florida State used to be. I would say that if we started a live stream, weekly live stream for USC and Clemson, they would take off. Because I've seen enough life out of just posting videos on USC and Clemson that those channels would take off. Need to get some sun. Well, I got to tell you, John, it was a beautiful day in Connecticut yesterday. So I was out shooting baskets with my son during the afternoon. But today, 45 and rainy. So we'll get the sun. All you have to do is look at my videos during the summer months, even into September, even like May to September. Go back to my videos from last year. You can definitely tell it's summertime. I get plenty of sun when there is sun. And I hope to one day be in the sun all the time. I don't like green screens. Don't like that. One Scoop John says there's nothing wrong with my set. Exactly. It's not important to me. It's not near the top, but I would like to have a better set. Yeah, my backdrop's not large enough. Mayhem Matthew, thank you so much for posting that. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Mark Rogers TV. Yelly Belly, thank you so much for the contribution. Appreciate that so much. Watch the movie Idiocracy. Sorry about that. Idiocracy, Mark. It will all make sense. Yelly Belly, thank you so much for the contribution. I appreciate it so much. You can tell I've been on here a while and I've been talking all day when I start to not make sense. Oh man, to real MVP. Let's save that for another time. I don't think I'm up to taking calls tonight. Palcar, appreciate you being here. Appreciate the optimism right there. Everything's going to work itself out. I always love that comment. You know when I enjoy that comment the most? During playoff time, when people say it's all going to work itself out. The top four will make the playoff. Well, obviously, the top four are going to make the playoff. It's the four teams that the playoff committee selected. Of course, it's going to work itself out. What does that even mean? It's going to work itself out. No, it didn't work itself out. In 2019, it didn't work itself out. In 2020, it did not work itself out. In 2014, 2016, 27, it did not work itself out. Just that there were four teams selected because they had to select four teams. If I had a stack of bills right here of utility bills and mortgage payments and credit card debt, and I didn't pay them, it would work itself out. If I never paid them, yeah, I would get hauled into jail and, sued and fined and everything else. Yeah, it would work itself out. Falconer X back here. This is phenomenal. What about selling turf or seeds for turf? He would not let this go since my conversation with my buddy Chris about turf and the big excuse about the turf costing Colorado the game against Missouri. That was phenomenal. And Falconer X has been on it since. Dependent Fanatic wants a shirt. Fish, I think the downfall and stagnation of Nebraska football would be a great topic for you to discuss and or make a show on. Well, I would say that I addressed that with Miami. I looked over Miami football for the past 15 years and again, applied the metrics, the facts, put it into context, and I was very impressed with the Miami fan base. They did not cut me down. They took the medicine. They took the medicine, and it did really well. That's a good thought right there. Oh man, the real MVP wants me to open up the phone lines. Okay. Uncle Rico, I just got here. Could you start over? Oh, man. The real MVP quoting me earlier tonight. I don't care about college football. I don't think I said that, did I? Roger Dodger. Yes. Likes and YouTube time helps us. Absolutely. Mickey B. Mark, you do know more than us knuckleheads. uh, Lamar's here. Here we go. Lamar, appreciate you being here. We're just talking about the channel tonight, so nothing about college football. But since you have the super chat request going here, should college football programs quantify the cost of developing a player annually and charge a fee to another program who's gaining a player and charge teams for making the offers in the first place? Well, they would all have to agree on that because there's nothing that so it's the player, it's not the football program that's making the decision to trade the football player, to move the football player to the other program. It's the player making that decision. It's unlike professional sports where there are trades involved. There are no trades involved here. So the player made that decision who's gaining the player. So first of all, that's not feasible. I understand your thought process. Okay, program A recruited, signed, and developed the player for 2 years. Then they move him on to another program. Another program takes him through the transfer portal and benefits from his development. But Team A did not want to lose the player. They did not make that decision. And we keep going and going and going and going and going. I'm up to 1037. Lori, good to see you. Hopefully you're still here. Ty, great to see you as well. Ooh, we need to voice of college football on all tweets. Tim, hashtag voice of college football. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Mark, do you need to let go of schools on less popular channels? Well, I kind of have. They're still there, but I don't have time for Wisconsin, North Carolina, and a few others, so I've not tried to keep them afloat. Dependent Fanatic, thank you so much. You get the 2 viewers that you have on over here. Absolutely. Roger Dodger's suggestion would be 6 to 10 schools here and then 5 conference channels. Don't think the conference channels work. They have not. Florida fans will watch a Florida channel. USC fans will watch a USC channel, etc. Falcon Rex, Miami, America's team. Would love to do a Wake Forest channel. Give me a sponsor. Anybody give me a sponsor for any team, we'll do a channel. So, Pizza Woman, the team channels don't divide the viewership. It concentrates the viewers. The Alabama fans watch the Alabama channel, the Ohio State fans, the Ohio State channel, instead of frustrating people that want to see a particular team on this channel. If you're an Oregon fan and you watch my main channel and you only see an Oregon video every 10 days and you got to look through 48 videos in between, and also keep in mind, if I took all those videos from that I do with all those conversations and everything else I do and put them on one channel, I'd be posting videos like every 45 minutes. And that kills a YouTube channel. That's like too much content. And it would not be clearly defined. It'd be too cluttered. Dire Wolf, appreciate you being here. The Amazon link, yes, I could probably see, that's an idea with the Amazon link. Find products on Amazon that people like, that takes time to go out and rummage through Amazon to try to find products that is going to attract all of you to go into Amazon, buy the product, use the link that I provide, et cetera, et cetera. No worries, Rot. It led me to a good discussion about the ads before. Roger Dodger, Mark, do you need player coach interviews? So players and coaches, you have to go through the university. I've done that in the past, and I've generally gotten group of 5 coaches, and they're not going to move the needle much here. They're really good interviews, and I enjoy the conversations I've had on. If you go back into the archive, you're going to find interviews with the head coaches at Cal, Oregon State, San Jose State, Tulsa, Ball State, Air Force, South Alabama, and others. Who was the other Power 5 coach? Gary Anderson, Oregon State, Sonny Dykes, Cal, and somebody else I had on. Can't remember. The best time to get player interviews is to get them before they sign with a school while they're still free. You don't have to go through the school while they're still in the recruiting process. And I've done that. My most famous, in quotes, would be Justin Fields. Did an interview with Justin Fields here. Go look it up. And other people that you would recognize from college football before they signed with the school. Once they sign with the school, then it becomes a bureaucracy nightmare to try to get them on, or get the player after they played their last college game before the NFL draft. And I've done that a few times as well. We'll do it, Roger Dodger. I used to have a lot of very lovely and talented female reporters from the various broadcast outlets on. I can't remember any of their names right this second. Go look them up. Yeah, 10:53. I'm barely catching. I'm just getting to an hour. What did Tim have to say? I got to look at this. Oh, it's not a Mark Rogers. Okay, I can catch up. I'll catch up, but I'm going to bypass a ton of stuff. Yes, the real MVP. I know you wanted me to open up the phone lines, but I just can't do it right now because we're going to be on all night. Uncle Rico, thank you so much for the contribution. We will have to continue this conversation another time when I will open up the phone lines. You need a dedicated George Clips channel. Uncle Rico, I'll take the $5 super chat. Thank you for that suggestion. We'll put that in the suggestion box, and we will lock that suggestion box. Tim says the money is in the call-in shows. Why not run call-in shows for your biggest channels? Okay, when you say the money's in the call-in shows, you're talking about super chat contributions. Well, those are very sporadic because I could do a show and get $300. I could do another show and get $8, and I'm usually on here forever. So I got to limit those. I'm already doing 9 hours of team live streams. Tack on to that probably, what do I do? Probably 7 or 8 hours of call-in shows a week. So I'm already wrapped up into probably that takes up about a good 25 to 30 hours of my week. And that's just scratching the surface. So I can only do so many call-in shows. Maybe I'll give that a go around. Maybe we will do a call-in show for each. This is what I'm going to do. We are going to do a live stream for each team channel that has substantial viewers, that has substantial subscribers. I'm not going to do it for Wisconsin. It's got 80 subs. Probably most of them are you that don't even care about Wisconsin. I'm going to do it for all the significant channels that we don't have a live stream for right now. I'm going to do a live stream. I'm going to start with a live stream and just talk in the chat, and then I'm going to ask people if they want to call. I'll set up the call-in line and do that. We'll give it a shot. We'll do Florida, LSU, Texas A&M, Penn State, Notre Dame, Clemson, and USC for sure. Those would be the priorities. Jim W., you ain't kidding. Somebody said that before, and I instantly thought of an ex-girlfriend. Yes. I was with for a long, long time, and I often thought, man, that would be one way to increase the viewership. Tim says all shows 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. The real MVP says call-in shows Monday and Friday at different times. Chad once more, Tony Gerdeman. John, have your shows that include an entire conference each time rather than with one team at a time. For example, this week, Monday, Big 12, Tuesday, SEC, Wednesday, ACC. Okay, well, if I do that, okay, John, understand that if you're wanting guests, what if Monday's Big 12. What if I talk to my Oklahoma guy and he says, I'm not available on Monday, only available on Thursday? And then I talk to my Oklahoma State guy and he says, I'm available on Monday. Okay. TCU, no, I'm available just on Wednesday. You know, the coordination for things like that, I used to go way back to the beginning of the channel. I did on Wednesday night, I did SEC breakdown, Pac-12 breakdown, Big 12 breakdown, ACC breakdown. I did 4 consecutive live streams on Wednesday night, every Wednesday night for maybe a year. And it was fun, but we were in a different place at that point. Sebastian says a regular set of interesting characters who are a part of the show would make it unique. Yeah, so that would make it unique. Like a sidekick, that sort of thing. I get it. Where do I get those people? John says, I think Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday shows at 7 Eastern for 3 hours. 3 hours. Good Lord. I guess I'm on here for 3 hours anyway. Would get the most bang for the buck. People might lose interest with shows on back-to-back days, and it fits your no shows Wednesday problem. Our number of shows. Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Well, the way my life is set up right now, first of all, I've got a show on Tuesday at 7. Sunday night's out. Thursday, I've got a show right now at 8. I've got so Sunday, I'm tied up every Sunday night. Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern, I've got Nebraska live, and Thursday at 8, I've got Miami live. So I can't do any of those right now. Sebastian, you need a wacky character, a villain, a person you're mentoring, something. Yeah. Agreed. I'll take it. Chad is on Tony. Tony Gerdeman's phenomenal. I love Tony. He's funny, he's witty, he's knowledgeable, he's everything. We would have a great time doing a show. I think Tony's, again, a lot of these things would require a sponsor. So, like, I would love to add on more and more shows. I'm pretty much tapped out on my limb. See, what you guys don't realize, maybe you should be able to realize this, is that when I'm not live, that doesn't mean I'm not working. That doesn't mean I'm not recording. I'm recording like all day when I'm not live. And there's also an aspect to this is it's not just about content creation. I've got to build a business. So I should be actually working, building a business roughly the same amount of time probably as I am recording and producing content. So Dave, I've got an Alabama channel. I've had an Alabama channel for like a year. Say, this is the problem right here. I need to communicate to everyone and get it through to everyone. We've got all these channels. Tim, a Pac-12 channel would not kill it. I really don't think it would. Guaranteed 6 viewers. Okay. That's where I need to that's where I need to read in advance. Okay, a lot of these suggestions are great. So Josh Pate's awesome. He's come on here a couple times. Very nice guy. He's really good. He's got a contract with 247 Sports. Like, that's the difference between Josh Pate's an employee. I'm an entrepreneur doing my own thing. I would do a show with Josh Pate. Well, yeah, under certain conditions, yes, it would have to make money. But Josh Pate probably doesn't have the time. We don't have the relationship, all those things just to, bam, do a show with Josh Pate. Michael, yes. Every so often it runs through my mind about scrapping this. Yes, it does run through my mind every so often. Not doing that. Individual channels are best. Thank you, Sebastian. Yes, Corey does an outstanding job. Cheryl, I had mentioned about David Knight, talked about David. Yes, he's been a good friend and supporter, no question. It's 11:59 and I'm at 11:12. I'm catching up right now. Here we go. Dennis got in here. Look at Dennis. Got in here at some point. All right. I'm only 15 minutes behind. Let me get there. Let me get there. I'm coming. There we go. No to real MVP. By this pace, we don't get off at 3 a.m. because, boom, I'm caught up. Well, I appreciate that, Daniel Collects. I don't have a skill set to do much of anything else unless somebody wants me to manage something that, yeah, pretty much that's it. I still think Mark needs an OnlyFans. That means like an OnlyFans show. John, you could, or could you do limited segments with a whiteboard talking about blocking assignments, coverages, how to attack different formations on offense and defense, responsibilities of different positions, things to make us better fans? Well, let me put it this way, John. I know quite a bit about football from watching a lot of football, for a long, long time. And I'm never going to sell my football playing ability by any stretch of the imagination, just playing through high school. So you understand certain things by actually playing with helmets and pads on at a certain level. So do I understand more than most? Yes. Do I understand enough to be as good at doing that as a bunch of other people on YouTube? No. So you would want to go to, I'm sure there are channels out there where guys do that, but I appreciate the contribution and the suggestion. So that would be fun to do, but my ability to do that compared to other people, yeah, that's not where it's at. I've tried to block this bot, but it's not letting me. All right. I think we've about hit the end of the line. We've been here for 3+ hours. Almost hero. That is very nice. Reese Davis is a tremendous talent. It's a real MVP. Took a shot at that. Good guess. Yeah. Well. Well, you guys are phenomenal. Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much for being here. It's been great. I just wanted to be very upfront about what we're doing, what I'm thinking, what we're going to do in terms of not that much is going to change, except for I really need to be able to get the point across to everyone that if you love Oregon football, be on the Oregon channel. If you love Michigan football, be on the Michigan channel. And then I'm going to do my very best to stick with national topics here, which means live call-in shows and means a lot of talk about rankings and ratings and playoff structures and formats and all that sort of thing. The only problem that happens is I get so focused on the team channels is that days go by and I don't take the time because those national topics typically take a lot of time. So check out the last video I posted here, which is about taking recruiting rankings and all the metrics and all the numbers involved in recruiting rankings, the results on the field, and then the NFL draft, and following the SEC and the Big Ten, the ACC and the Big 12 and the Pac 12 all the way through. And I put a lot of metrics to that. Well, that took a lot of time to construct that video. So I can't do that every day. So I gotta figure it out so I can post at least. I want to post one video here to the main channel each day. I want to have one post here every day to say, boom, there it is. And sometimes it'll be a live stream, but I would like it to be actually one video post here on the main channel each day. So I don't have one for tomorrow, so that's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. Falconer Jones, appreciate that so much, so much, so much, so much. Kyle's here. What did I miss? Kyle, as soon as we get off here, which is going to be in about 30 seconds. Appreciate you being here, Kyle. Thank you so much for the contribution. You know that. Kyle, yeah, we're at 3 hours and 15 minutes. I'm toast. Appreciate the contribution, man. Video is going to post here in about 15 minutes, Kyle. You can watch all that you missed because it's just gold. I'm sure you will agree. Yes, Daniel says, good things coming. And Uncle Rico, we're going to start our, it's kind of like Lost in Space with the antimatter world. We're going to start our anti-channels. So we're going to have our anti-Michigan channel, our anti-Florida State channel. If you hate Florida State, you'll subscribe to that channel. If you hate Michigan, so since you hate Michigan, we're going to start our anti-Michigan channel. Maybe, Uncle Rico, knowing you, you could come up with a better name for it than that. But that's what we'll do. There it is. Run Google ads. I should look into that. Yes, that's what I've been doing for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Is I've just been rambling on and on. Appreciate that, Cheryl. Thank you so much for everybody who's been here. You guys are amazing. Appreciate you being here. And thank you so much for the support. Tuesday is Nebraska and Iowa Day. So the Hawkeyes live show comes on at 5:30 Eastern and Nebraska at 7. And you know what? I forgot. Hang on before you leave. We've got a Clemson live stream with Pigskin Pete and Jason Priester, and DeAndre's coming on. So check that out at noon Eastern. I wanted to promote that, but I've been rambling on about my show for 3.5 hours. Clemson live Tuesday, noon Eastern. So in less than 12 hours, we're live with Clemson Football Talk right here at the Voice of College Football on the main channel and simulcasting on the Clemson channel. Yes, we got a team channel for Clemson. All right, we'll see you at noon Eastern time on Tuesday.